The American dream, to own your own home. A clean, decent, affordable home and a safe, well-kept neighborhood with community services. Until recently, that dream was unthinkable for people living in the District of Columbia's public housing projects. For decades, they endured deplorable housing conditions in the very shadow of the nation's capital. Low-income residents saw no way out of public housing slums, let alone into a nice home of their own. Well, all that's changing now. Right here at Wheeler Creek, in the Anacostia region, the American dream is a reality.
Before we got together to get Wheeler Creek, the places where we were living at, we have had so many killings, so much drugs, so much stealing and robberies. We haven't had any crime at all at Wheeler Creek since I've been here. Everybody has a chance to be at Wheeler Creek, and everybody can better themselves here at Wheeler Creek. I love it here. I have a beautiful home, and I'm hoping and praying that I can work and continue on staying here. And no, I never thought I would be a homeowner. Now we are living like people should be living and enjoying ourselves.
And take a good look. You'd never guess this lovely community of 314 mixed-income homes is public housing. Yet, this is just one of 5 public housing communities that have been revitalized so far by the District of Columbia Housing Authority.
When we talk about the Anacostia region, which heretofore had been viewed as a region that was desolate, there really weren't a lot of resources that were coming into the community. The Anacostia region is very, very different, and the landscape for the Anacostia is changing drastically.
Before 1995, more than 2,300 units in the district were vacant or uninhabitable. Many of the remaining 9,500 units had deteriorated to horrible conditions. Complexes were badly managed, if at all. Crime and gang warfare ruled. Residents despaired. Government didn't seem to care. It had let public housing fall into an appalling state that it could not rescue. In 1995, D.C. Superior Court Judge Stephen Gray concluded that something drastic had to be done. He removed responsibility for the housing authority from the D.C. government and placed it into receivership. David Gilmore, the court-appointed receiver, was handed a huge mandate: transform public housing in the nation's capital. And that's how the road to recovery began. Mr. Gilmore and his team restructured the D.C. Housing Authority and its management system. They started rehabilitating its inventory of properties and instituting services for its residents. Their goal? Provide decent, safe, well-managed housing for thousands of low-income Americans who cannot afford it on their own.
This is a rather large agency. It has a budget of more than $200 million a year. It provides housing to approximately 10% of the city. We are undoubtedly the largest landlord in the city. So we have a very, very big responsibility. We take it very seriously because it is important. The biggest challenges we have is increasing the supply of affordable housing. We have a very large waiting list for both Section 8 and public housing.
In September 2000, receivership ended. Mr. Gilmore and his team achieved a stunning 5-year road to recovery of public housing in the District of Columbia. Legislation called for a smooth transition to a new governing structure, a board of commissioners, and Mr. Gilmore's hand-picked successor, Michael Kelly, as the authority's executive director. Now, where are we?
This is Fort DuPont neighborhood, a wonderful neighborhood that's currently going through some revitalization. We've got some work that's...
Good morning.
Hey, good morning to
Mr.
you.
Kelly.
Good to see
How are you.
Fine, thank you.
Here's a report that you were looking for.
Thank you, Kim. You're doing a great job. We'll talk to you about this later.
Thank you.
Why is D.C. then so important?
Well, in many ways, what we do here becomes a model for the rest of the country. When Congress looks to see what's working or not working in public housing, it's just a short drive from their homes to the Capitol, and the public housing they pass in many ways affects policy development.
So what happens in Washington affects the rest of the nation?
It certainly does.
The 9 commissioners on the board are a diverse group, 4 are business people with a background in community development and urban affairs. They are nominated by the mayor and confirmed by the council. 1 is a labor representative, and 1 is deputy mayor for planning and economic development.
The vision for the board is to stay committed to make sure that we change the culture of the housing authority so that residents are treated and looked at as customers as you do in the private sector, and that we work to empower customers and to empower the staff to serve customers better. We all have a great interest in improving the housing authority, and we all have great compassion for the customers that we serve.
3 commissioners are public housing residents elected at resident council meetings, a vital part of the vision.
This housing authority has a philosophy that there is nothing that takes place within the public housing community that does not involve working with our residents. We do this from the initial planning stages through a series of meetings that are well advertised, involvement with the resident organization, through a charrette planning process that involves not only the public housing residents, but the larger community as well.
In 5 if that's okay.
Guiding the new leadership is a multifaceted 3-year strategic plan they developed. It charts the course of the Housing Authority based on 10 goals to build strong neighborhoods. This plan sets the path toward excellence in community redevelopment through the year 2003.
One of the things I'd like to do here at the District of Columbia in terms of reshaping and retooling our mission is to become much more of a customer-driven agency that gives to our staff the tools and resources they need to deliver a quality product, much like the expectations would be in the private sector. And we look to remain accountable to the public on this goal toward excellence. We are currently collecting rent at a 99% measure. We are at a 99% occupancy. Our emergency work orders are completed within 24 hours and routine work orders are done within 14 days. These are all the type of indicators that rival or best a private sector approach to the delivery of property management services. Besides being a property management company and a real estate development company, we also are a company that looks at the needs of the social and recreational health of our clients. And the best ways we find to do that is to partner with those nonprofits or city agencies or for-profits that provide these services and be in a position to try to identify need and match up resources.
There you go.
The public housing police serves a real need in the community. There are 13 public housing with their own police department throughout the country. We are one of those 13 police departments, and we serve a real need. We're in the community to try to prevent crime. Not only do we prevent crime, we go in, we tow abandoned autos, we get the vicious dogs out of the neighborhood, we arrest drug dealers, we write tickets. Anything that we can do to restore the public housing community trust and faith in the police. We have pages, we have telephones, we have confidential hotlines for them to contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Again, our goal is to make our residents feel safe and secure by preventing crime in public housing community.
There's child care, there's senior care, there's educational opportunities for GED. We've got a wonderful youth violence prevention model that we've got going here.
Our mission is to be able to work with this particular population, the younger population to some degree who fell out of the mainstream. But DC Housing is working very closely with the Alliance to assure the future of this particular generation.
Victory is ours!
The DCHA is organized into 3 regions: Rock Creek, Potomac, and Anacostia. They operate like semi-autonomous housing authorities managed by regional administrators.
Oh, hi, how are you? Good, how you doing? Good, I heard you were up here working.
Each has responsibility for about 3,000 units. Anacostia